Okay, so the left-hand one was your before.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, a lot of good things in that setup. You stand the golf ball really nicely. Grip pressure maybe a little on the tighter side, but the way you're able to move shows it's not overly tight. Possibly a bit tighter than you want to, but it's not really an issue. Generally, though, as I said, good start position, okay? As you went back before, you can see that red line there, sort of in the middle of your head there. You're moving off it before that club's even gone back above your hips. Then as you keep going, you keep swaying off the golf ball and now lifting, and that's basically your backswing. So your shoulder turn has only really gone through 65, 70 degrees, and it's not really a twist, it's more just of a drag the body around because your arms are pulling, which is what Will said. Oh, your dad just swings all arms, yeah? He sees that army effect and then relates to that. When actual fact, it's not then swing your arms less, you've got to swing the body more, haven't you? So your practice movements now on this right-hand side, if we go away from here now, you make some swings where you feel that you're turning your right shoulder here behind you more, so you're making more that movement, yeah? See the difference in that there? Yeah. So you're making that movement there. And this is just your practice swing. What that does, it makes the swing go further. The club's a little bit flatter, which now means hitting the ground is not going to be so much of an issue. And every now and then you might get a few thinny ones because you're used to hitting the ground too hard and having to adjust a little bit. Okay. We adjust. The human brain will adjust. If you start thumping the ground, behind the boys on the golf course playing that very few times you play anyway, if you're thumping the ground, it's going to come to a point where you're going to miss the ground and you just got lifting the club off the ground or just moving slightly, okay? Making these subtle adjustments. So you do 3 or 4 swings in this movement here now. Then when you step to the golf ball, having done those practice swings, now when you set the golf ball, you focus on the ball and hitting the ball. And we hope the backswing practice has helped. And there's your backswing now. Massive change, isn't it? That's great. That's really good. The knee should move in. Yeah, the knee will move in. You can't keep that still. I mean, unless you're like a gymnast and super flexible, it will move in, okay? That amount of movement there is probably the maximum you want, but it's not too much. For me, you're still stable, okay? A way to sort of check, if I said to you there now, could you do a little sort of mini squat? I think look at your body structure there, you could do. This one maybe not so much, almost looks like there you sort of, that knee's kind of in here, now try and do a squat, you'd be tough. But that one there, you turned, you're here, could you squat? You probably could. But you want to be doing this, because now you can't move. So your lower half for me, if we take away the top half and just look at that, that looks to me a lot more solid in terms of that movement. The foot's rolled in a little bit, that foot's off the ground quite a bit. Yeah. But that foot was off the ground more so because you were being dragged away to your right by your sway. And this foot, we're just doing that for balance. Yeah? I mean, you can sort of see, you can still see the white trim on your trains over there. It's just kind of like sort of trying to hang on for dear life. So with that length of backswing, you're doing a number of things. One, you're creating more power. 2, you're swinging the club on a better angle. We call more flatter swing plane, so it's not going to come in so heavy on the mat. It's going to mean you're going to square the club face up more effectively through the bag, not just with the 6-iron, but with the drive and the other clubs, okay? As you then come back to the golf ball, now you can see when you hit the golf ball, there's impact about there. Okay, your head's now over the ball, isn't it? Yeah, there. You want that. The extension you want through the ball is good. What you have too early. Yeah, there's a phrase called early extension. Okay, the fault in early extension is the early bit, not the extension bit. You don't want to try and stay down too long. As you swing a golf club, we want your body to rise up here through the shot. Do not try and stay down too long. As you're here, there, you're able to move. The key thing is here, you're able to move that to the left. So your head now is getting back to where it started, yeah? As your arms swing back down here now, we extend up through the shot. But you're extending up while on top of the golf ball, as opposed to this one, when you were extending up now, you were behind the ball, and then you just couldn't reach the golf ball, yeah? So you were coming down steep and pulling away from it, so you had to try and adjust, which is create that path and that putty one, as you said. And then your foot spins out, and all these other things there, because there's too much weight on the back foot. So just a general foot movement through the golf ball is good down to a balanced finish, where this one is sort of hanging back here. I mean, you sort of come through just about the end there, but I would say your right foot's doing a lot more work to try and get around the corner.
A much better swing.
Oh yeah, much better swing. Yeah,
I mean, that swing.
Yeah.
What number's going to shoot with that?
If you start swinging that way, there's no reason why you couldn't get. There are people who swing it like that and hit the ball consistently. When you're in that 2 or 3 shots that were really good, honest to God, if you play, no. If you played regular, and we're talking once a week, which might not be an amount you could play now, maybe later on or whatever it may be, there's no reason or rhyme where you can get on single figures. 10, 11, 12, that kind of thing. Honestly, mate, unless you're horrendous at putting, which we'll check another time probably, you could get down to close to single figures, honestly, mate. 9, 10, honestly, yeah. Honestly. If you can hit a 6 or you can hit a 7-iron around 150 consistently and keep a drive in plan. Obviously, it will depend on what your driver does when you're hitting some shots, okay? If that starts bananing off, then you'll lose shots. But if you can hit a 7-iron like that and hit it within, say, 130 to 150, so if it's a bad one, at least 130 and in play, and then a driver can kind of be in the fairway, no reason why you can't shoot. You could be shooting in the low 80s comfortably. And if your short game and putting was pretty good, and I potentially think now, because obviously Will's turned into like a golf nut, his mum was saying he's like golf mad, which is great. And Arthur's a decent player for his age, and even decent for anyone to be fair. The fact they're going to play as much, it's almost going to encourage you to want to go out and play a bit more.
Yeah, it is.
I think you might start playing once a week, fairly regular. In the summertime, it could be 3-4 times a week. Evening golf, mate. I mean, that's one of my best memories of my dad. We used to go out of an evening and play golf, where we would tee off. We'd come in from school, we'd have dinner at 5:30, up at the golf club at 6, and play until it gets dark. We're playing like 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's obviously a bit later on when maybe I was a bit older and stuff. But that's, I mean, you live fairly close anyway, don't you? So you can just pop down the golf club and you're here, and the course shuts when the sun goes down. So you could play till like 9, 10 o'clock if you wanted to, 11 o'clock, it doesn't matter. I think if you start playing more, if you can swing it that good and that potential there now, there's no reason why you couldn't get down to a good standard. It all depends on really how much time you get to put into it, that's the thing. You've got the physical capabilities to swing it well enough to play to single figures, yeah? If people I give lessons to who don't swing any better than that, you play off 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that kind of window, yeah? Like I say, it does take a bit of practice, obviously, and how much you can play. That's going to be one of the biggest things, but physically wise, mate, there's nothing to stop you there. You'll be well under 18, easily. Okay, mate? Make sense, so yeah?
I'll be happy with that.
Good.